Have you ever noticed that being single really messes with your ADHD? Me too. I promise you, we are not alone. Welcome to A Solo Person's Guide to ADHD. I'm Christine Dunning, a Master Certified Life Coach and the proud owner of 2 Cats Coaching. Yes, my actual cats included. And this is episode 1, my very first. So, let's dive in. Why did I decide to do this podcast? This show is going to be all about the unique challenges and surprises that come with being both single and someone who lives with ADHD. Whether you're rocking the inattentive type, bouncing with hyperactivity, or somewhere in between, this is a space for you. I came to this crossroads myself about a year ago when I was first diagnosed with inattentive ADHD at the age of, brace yourself, 61. Yeah, surprise. Looking back now, I realize I've had ADHD my whole life. I just didn't know that's what it was. Suddenly, so many of my life struggles make sense, especially those around executive functioning. You know, like, say, organization. If you're watching this on YouTube, you'll see a tidy room behind me. Want to know the secret? You just can't see all the clutter. I put it outside of the camera frame. Another issue is finishing things. Personally, I'm a creative. I have a list as long as my arm of things I want to make, do, build, start, write, compose. But finishing them, that's the real mountain. Including this podcast, high mountain. And then there's impulsivity. For me, that's especially in relationships. I grew up thinking that I was had to be in a relationship. After all, everybody I knew was. And my parents, bless them, got married 6 weeks after they met. Yes, 6 weeks. Now, granted, it was World War II, but still. So somewhere in my brain, I decided that love should be instant and effortless. Spoiler alert, that never happened. Eventually, after a string of failed relationships, and unfortunately including a failed marriage, I made the decision about 20 years ago I was going to stop chasing relationships and just try to be myself for a while, try to be on my own. And guess what? I felt free. Frankly, I'm still on that break. It wasn't easy, especially without knowing that ADHD was part of the puzzle. But I discovered something that at the time was really surprising. I could completely take care of myself. I could manage on my own. And I've been doing that for 20 years now. And dating? Please, I don't miss it at all. Back to the diagnosis. I was 61 when I finally realized I had ADHD. I'd been suspecting it for a while. I dove into some of the standard resources, books, podcasts, expert opinions. And you know what I kept hearing? Find a neurotypical partner to help you manage your ADHD. Now, to be fair, the authors say you shouldn't rely on that partner, but let's be honest, they kind of expect you to. After all, that's what they do. And that's great if you have a supportive neurotypical partner. But what if you don't? What if, like me, you're happily single? That advice just doesn't work. So where does that leave us? Well, today we're going to talk briefly about the unique issues that come up when you're managing ADHD as a solo person. The first thing is that ADHD thrives on some external structure, routines, deadlines, accountability, someone to report to. Think about work. You show up, you do the thing, and somebody expects results. Now think about your home life. Who is holding you accountable there? No one, unless you count your cat giving you judgy stares because you didn't do the dishes last night. Laura's looking at me right now. The good news, living alone gives you the freedom to experiment without anyone judging your, weird little systems. You get to design what works for you. The challenge, you have to do it for yourself. The second thing is dealing with the dopamine desert. Dopamine is that feel-good brain chemical, you've heard of it, that helps regulate attention, impulse control, and motivation, all areas where ADHD brains typically struggle. Without enough dopamine, everything can feel flat, boring, or overwhelming. And that can make solo life harder because there's no built-in stimulation from a partner to bounce off of. So we have to learn how to create our own dopamine boosts without blowing up our finances or routines, like shopping on Amazon at 3 a.m. Our third thing is radical self-reliance. Now here's the fun part. Independence can be your ADHD superpower. Living solo teaches you self-trust. You get creative with problem solving. You get faster at bouncing back from mistakes because, no one saw you make them. Like the 3 hours you spent reorganizing your CDs instead of doing laundry. But independence doesn't mean you have to do everything alone. You can build a support system. Friends, coaches, community, other friends with ADHD, even those neurotypical people. It all counts. Let me take you back to one of those turning points for me. About 3 months into my break from dating, I remember I was in the car driving and for some reason crying. I think I remember this because I'm actually really not a very big crier. Honestly, I don't even remember exactly what it was I was upset about. I just remember whatever the problem was, thinking, this would all work if I just had a partner, a boyfriend, or a husband who could handle this problem for me because I can't do it. Probably didn't say it quite that logically, but you get the point. And then it hit me. I didn't want a boyfriend. I wanted a fixer, a protector. But I will say that my family had taught me self-reliance, and I learned it on my own. I just wasn't practicing it. I was playing the victim in my life and not the hero. And then I realized I could take care of this problem myself. If I really needed help, at worst, I could hire somebody. I'm not rich, but, it's not impossible to hire a handyman. That moment was a rush for me. I know it really changed me permanently, and I haven't looked back. If you take nothing else from today's episode, take this. You can be solo and still live a full, empowered life with your ADHD. I'm proof. If I can do it, you absolutely can too. One last thing before we go, regarding terminology. A reminder to us all that ADHD is a diagnosis. It's a disorder. It is not a personality trait. As my therapist regularly reminds me, I have ADHD. I am not ADHD. I am not my disorder. And neither are you. You will notice occasionally I think I slip up and use it as a noun. That's not intentional. It's just shorthand because the wording gets a little long sometimes. But please do remember that distinction. The other word I want to talk about is solo. Why do I use the word solo instead of single? For me, it's because the word single is laden with cultural significance. It really means single in looking, all one word. Solo for me doesn't have that connotation. Somehow it feels freer and more independent. Of course, you feel free to use whichever term you like. So over the next few episodes, we're going to tackle some of these first problems. We're going to talk a little bit about external structures, how to form those when we live alone, how to get the sweet dopamine hits without self-sabotaging yourself, and how to build some of that self-reliance and self-confidence so you feel good about living alone. Solo life with ADHD is both an adventure and a challenge. But it's also a gift once you learn how to live on your own terms. There's nothing wrong with you. It's okay to live your solo life and get the support you need for your ADHD. So, coming up next time, we'll talk about those pesky routines and practices. How do we build them? How do we keep them going? I'll give you a hint, it's not going to be about being perfect. And lastly, if this resonated with you, please subscribe and share it with another solo ADHDer. You are not as alone as you think. Do you have a question or a topic idea? Please feel free to email me at Christine@twocatscoaching.com or just visit my website, twocatscoaching.com. While you're there, feel free to sign up for a free 30-minute coaching session. No strings. It's my way of giving back and seeing if we're a good fit for working together more long-term. The Solo Person's Guide to ADHD is written and performed by me, Christine Dunning of Two Cats Coaching. Original music also by yours truly. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you next time. Bye.